esteemed colleagues and guests, it is a pleasure and an honor for me to present to you the employment services offered by the Employment Agency of Bulgaria to unemployed aged over 50. The services we offer aim at encouraging the employment of the workers, aging workers. What are the tools we use? This is the Employment Promotion Act, which regulates the social schemes, then the rules implementing the Employment Promotion Act, and the National Employment Action Plan. It includes, on an annual basis, the target groups for the employment policies, all the actions, the programs, and, of course, the budget that is to be allocated for the implementation of those plans and programs. Unemployed aging workers are increasing, but this is because of the aging population and other tendencies common to the labor market of many countries. Here on this graph, you can see a green column which shows the unemployed aged over 50 registered with the Labor Office. And as you can see that for the period January to September 2015, the level of unemployment is lower, but the number of unemployed over 50 is growing. Here you can see the unemployed aged over 50 registered with the Labor Office directorates according to their educational level. The biggest number among them is unemployed with primary or lower education. Their share grows, as well as the share of the unemployed with secondary education. The university degree holders as number among the unemployed does not grow. Now, what are the advantages of the persons aged over 50? These are the ones that are used by the experts at PES. Well, they are the best workers in an office because they possess the professional and life experience. They are much more consistent and successful and reliable. Aging employees are much better in their communication skills because these skills are developed with age. They are much more loyal to employers and much more tolerant to their colleagues. People over 50 are a priceless asset at the labor market, and we should encourage employers to offer them jobs. But let's see which are the problems in providing employment to persons aged over 50. Well, difficulties, problems are, of course, related to the lack of education and/or professional qualifications. Sometimes employers look for unemployed who have certain key competences which are not among the competences of the unemployed, such as foreign languages, IT skills, etc. We in the PES sometimes have to overcome problems related to the eagerness of unemployed over 50 to join training and retraining courses. They are also unwilling to move from one place to another, from one place of work to another. And at the same time, because of physical capacities, a group among the unemployed over 50 who cannot find work grows. People are also demotivated to seek jobs. Now, what are the services that we at the employment agency offer to the unemployed over 50? All unemployed, including the 50-plus group, are offered services really in relation to conversation with consultant, employment agent, psychologist, case manager. And in the focus of our attention as an agency is to ever increase the types and number of services we can offer. So, individual action plan is being developed and agreed upon for the unemployed over 50. Motivation and consultation with the psychologist is also very typical. Career guidance as well. We always organize on an annual basis job search workshops so that everybody who attends job search workshops get better chances to find a job. All unemployed are invited to take part in national programs, projects and measures, and the unemployed over 50 are a priority group. Encouraging the employers to employ unemployed over 50 is one of the specific tendencies we focus upon. The main objective is to provide employment to those over 50. And the employer is subsidized for each employed person funds for salaries and for health insurance. Since 2012, our agency has been implementing program for training and employment of long-term unemployed. Knowing what the tendencies are among the long-term unemployed, this year we have put this program as a priority. The target group are the unemployed, the long-term unemployed, the persons over 50, and the youth unemployed. The program consists of 3 components: training and offering jobs. There is a motivation training as well, because the long-term unemployed need additional support so that they can be re-motivated to seek jobs. The components, as I have mentioned, are 3. One is for the employers in industry, then employers in the public sector. These are municipal and state companies, schools, etc. And the third component is offering jobs to unemployed for cases of part-time jobs. For the period January-September this year, 842 long-term unemployed were covered. Half of them are over 50. The unemployed over 50 are a subject of many projects, such as A Chance to Work of the Confederation of the Independent Trade Unions in Bulgaria. Today, later today or tomorrow, you will hear much more about this project. Then project from I Learn and Succeed in Bulgaria, the Business Association, and Project Vocational Training for All is also is also very popular. It is carried out by the Bulgarian-German Vocational Training Center State Enterprise. The main objective to the three is increasing the chances for the long-term unemployed and those over 50 through training and through subsidized employment. For the employers who are partners in the project. Since the beginning of this year, 7,000 were involved. Among them, 2,687 of them. 26% of those who found jobs were over 50. The vulnerable groups on the labor market are better protected with the effort of our agency and all other partners. Upcoming incentive for persons over 50. This is something we have organized for employees and employers in agriculture and the regions with highest ratio of unemployed in Bulgaria. We will be able, with the help of these projects, to remotivate the long-term over 50 unemployed to join such employment structures. Now let me share with you what has been done with the help of the EU funds.
We work under the operational program for human resource development 2014-2020. This offers opportunities for training and employment of people at the age over 23 who are registered in the unemployment bureaus. The priority will be given to people with primary or lower education, people who have been registered as unemployed for at least 12 months, and also unemployed over the age of 54. A requirement to the employment will be minimum of 50% of the employed by one employer to be in one of the three priority groups I listed. The next project is created to improve the coordination and cooperation between the employment agency and the social benefit agency. It's a pilot model for joint and comprehensive service of the citizens from vulnerable groups to individualize their services. We hope then that when those comprehensive services are provided, we will be more useful in providing work for the unemployed and job seekers so that they can find it in one place. Last, I would like to present to you the results from the work of our agency. The red line shows the included unemployed over 50 in the labor market. This information is from the employers who provide jobs for this group. The next blue line shows the inclusion of unemployed in various programs and employment measures funded by the state budget and the EU. And the yellow line shows the re-included, the blue is for the included in training, and the yellow one for included in employment. What is characteristic for the employment measure is that in 2014 we made a net evaluation of the policies, and the subject of this evaluation were the programs from 2011. In terms of the implementation of the programs and measures, more than half of the questioned replied that they have found some business. So the sustainability could be established at least 1 year after the measure or program has expired. Due to the continuing crisis and unemployment, about 40% of these persons are working, which means that they have a continued realization. 5% have retired and 5% participate in other programs of the bureaus for employment. So about half or 50% of the people included in such programs and measures have experienced a long-term effect from them. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Mrs. Ganeva, for these useful and interesting data on the specific measures and practices of the employment agency. The organizers chose the options that the questions from the floor are asked immediately after the presentation. Otherwise, a lot of questions are accumulated and topics. So Mrs. Ganeva is now awaiting your remarks or questions on her presentation. She shared facts about some interesting motivational programs for employers to attract and keep elderly laborers.
Good morning. My name is Susanne Kratz. I'm currently working for the European Parliament, and before that I was working with a network of public employment services in the European Commission, and originally I worked at the University of the Public Employment Service Germany. I know Bulgaria as a very active member in European cooperation, and thank you for the interesting presentation and for informing us of a lot of activities and a good success, and you integrated many unemployed younger persons and older persons. This leads to my questions. What I noted in the last statistics is that the integration figures did not go down very much. Yes, you had 60,000 integrations in 2013 and around 50,000 in 2014. But what I noted, and that I found quite interesting, is that the figures for training, they went down considerably. There can be two reasons behind. What I know that many countries being very active in European social funding measures, there can be a lack of funding, or it can be a strategic decision So, as I know from the PES-to-PES dialogue, there was always a big discussion how much should be invested into training and how many unemployed can be integrated either with very small training measures or directly. So I would be interested to know what are the reasons behind these developments. Thank you.
Thank you for the nice words and comments on the work of our agency. The results I presented on the graph are related to the inclusion of unemployed in the primary labor market for training and subsidized employment. What we notice at the agency is after including more persons in such programs, automatically the number of the people included in the primary labor market increases, as you saw. Regarding the number of the unemployed included in training, maybe I omitted to say this is carried out with funds from the state budget and from the operational program Human Resource Development. The peak in 2012 is connected to the performance of the project from the European Social Fund, and this explains the bigger number of people included in training. The next scheme that we start for employment and training, which I presented to your attention, with subsequent employment, we believe will be positive and will continue the tendency for including more unemployed in the training programs. Thank you, Mrs. Ganeva. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you. Michael Maskakata from ILO. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. A lot of ideas are coming from here. I would like to find out with regard to the subsidies. You say that you subsidize salaries and you subsidize salaries for the people that, for the employers that take on the people that you ask, the people over 50 that you ask them to employ. The question I want to ask is, for how long do you subsidize the full salary, and does it cover the whole period that they are employed? And then the next question is, how do you ensure sustainability of such programs?
The subsidizing of the salaries for the employers is done under special conditions. They must comply with certain criteria for the implementation of the regulation of the respective measures. Subsidizing salaries under the measures for promoting employment are part of the measures financed by the state budget. Employers apply in the labor bureaus. There is a competition with particular criteria. We give priority to developing companies, smaller companies. They sign agreements with the labor bureaus, and the subsidizing of the salaries is for a period of 6 months, and it's an obligation of the employer that the person has a labor contract and works for this employer for at least 1 year, 12 months. For example, part of the minimum of the employment of the salary in the country at the moment, we finance 300 left for a period of not less than 12 months. The results and the net evaluation from 2014 shows that the combination of a subsidized and non-subsidized period for the employer provides better sustainability for the newly opened jobs. Mrs. Ganeva, thank you. Any other comments? I don't see any other requests. Now, let me ask Mrs. Margaret Tautred to introduce the next participant in the discussion, as well as to make some remarks on the updating of our program.